Hello. I know it's been a little while since I've posted a video. That is partly because the topics that I'm coming up to are very important. They are going to transform your practice significantly once you begin with them, so I wanted to be sure that I was ready to say everything that's important to say. And I've also been very busy with some book projects, other publishing related projects, a new psychic fair in Athens, Georgia. There's been a lot going on. So thank you very much for your patience and forgiveness as I am less consistent as I would like to be. Today I'm going to talk about how to incorporate contact with your ancestors into your regular practice. This is something that I was initially taught by Dave Gaddy, and I've been practicing it for a few years now with help from several other practitioners. Because in today's world of many spiritual concepts being available, many traditions coming as fully established options that you can find and utilize, the tools that are going to work best for you are certainly out there, but they may take several perspectives for you to cobble together from. So I'm going to tell you what's worked for me. Please ask for advice. I'm more than happy to point you in other directions you might check out, but these are the basics. The reason that you might want to bring your ancestors into your work, whether you have a good or bad relationship with your family, is that part of the reason that you have manifested here on this planet as a human in your current family is that you have something to contribute to that family's narrative. You're living your own narrative, which is very important for your personal transformation, development, and integration with spirit. But there is also a spiritual thread that travels the entire network of families that you have inherited at this point in time. You exist here now, in many ways, to rectify problems and redirect your family's energy in a way that's going to be positive and a contribution to the rest of the world, the continuation of our spiritual progression. So even if you don't like your family very much, that is probably an indication that you have to make some big changes in order to salvage the very valuable things that your family began. They may not always feel valuable to you. I know some of us have very fraught relationships with our families, and some of us who think that we have very good relationships with our families are often riding on concepts and methods of sustaining those relationships that may not be as healthy as we would like them to be. So ancestor work helps us to discover the value that our family has for the world, and also to tweak things to help us improve our individual relationships, both with our blood family members and our chosen family members. Ancestor work really helps you to refine the forces that are working on you that don't always feel like you, but that you know you are carrying all the time. These are ancestral influences that you are being called upon to make use of and, in many cases, adjust. So, after you have become very comfortable with the practices I've already laid out regarding meditation, energy work, grounding, centering, and establishing your own energy as something that you not only recognize and can hold for yourself, but also that you can shift to some degree based on the circumstances that you're in, so that you are both able to push your energy into situations and affect them with your actions and words, as well as restrain your energy and conserve it so that it cannot be affected by outside forces. When you have made practical headway into doing this in your daily life, and you feel that it is already improving how you go into spaces, navigate them day to day, and your ability to assess your energy before and after these encounters. When you're there, you're ready for this ancestral work. It may not be the best big step for you to take. The next video will be on deities. That may be of more help before you get to your ancestors. People do these things in different orders, depending on their callings and the spiritual energy they feel close to. So don't think that you have to do this now. Maybe wait a week, watch the deity video if it doesn't quite sound exactly the direction that you need, and see if these broader, more general spiritual forces might be of more use to you right now. The first thing to do in your ancestral work is to decide if there are ancestors that you know, people that have passed, who you are aware of, know by name, maybe even have some item that they owned and was important to them. You may want to contact somebody like this, who you have some lived experience with and whose influence you would like to continue to guide you in their spiritual form. Or you may not have anybody like that, or you may feel that there are issues in your family that go far deeper than just the last few generations that you may have been in contact with. And in this case, you'll want to invite as many family members as would like to respond to you, any ancestors who are available and interested in making contact, and from them, locate helpers. Invite them to give you a hand. So I'm going to start with that first method, as it's a little bit more complex well, I guess I'm starting with the second method. It's a little more complex than the first method, involving people you know. So in order to invite your ancestors to you, I'm going to show you a brief ritual that was offered to me by my shaman friend Juliana. Enter into your meditative practice. At your space that you hold personal and sacred, go into yourself, establish your energy barriers. Push your barrier out as far as you possibly can once you are finished. Make sure that the place that you're doing this in is clean and inviting. This is a good chance for you to practice the virtue of hospitality, as you are inviting family members in who you have never met in person. The first thing to do is to tell your ancestors that you love them. Name the things that you love about yourself that they have imparted to you. Your resilience, your personal strength, your intelligence, your wisdom, your ability to connect with others and make friends, all of these human attributes are abilities that your ancestors have cultivated. You have them because they worked on them, and you will transfer them to others, whether they are blood relatives or people that you are serving as an example for. That is much of the work that we are called to do. Tell the ancestors what you appreciate about the fact that they chose to survive and continue living in order to eventually bring you to this world. They're all part of that chain, and they all deserve your appreciation if you are existing and working your way in this life. So thank them specifically for the things that you appreciate about yourself. This will draw those ancestors who have cultivated those particular abilities. They will hear you calling. After thanking them, the next thing to do is to send out full forgiveness for anything that they have done that they may feel shamed them, that they were not proud of, anything that you've inherited that is a problem. Forgive them for not being able to eliminate that aspect from your genetic intellectual, or emotional inheritance. We ourselves cannot fix every detail of our lives. We cannot correct everything. We don't even know if the moves that we're making are the ones that will ultimately heal the wounds we're dealing with. We are all doing our best. Your ancestors were doing their best in the circumstances that they had to deal with. So after thanking them, forgive them for anything that they left undone, or that they did in a misguided way. They didn't know. They had to try. And you are a living testament to what they learned, what they attempted, and it's your job to continue all of that work. So in forgiving them, you are also showing them appreciation for the work that they did do, and letting them know that it's okay for you to take on the burden that life has given to you through this inheritance. And then the third thing, after thanking them and forgiving them, is to tell them that you love them. Welcome them in with the love of family. The love that accepts, despite any shortcomings, despite personal friction. Remember, these are spirits you are talking to. And as you are the embodied character in this situation, and they are the spiritual ones, ultimately you decide how much direct contact you get with them. They can't bother you if you don't let them. So here you are, in this position of privilege, inviting them in, asking them to continue to influence you in an active way as partners, rather than as these unknown, unpersonified whispers that you are going to sense throughout your life, whether you like it or not. So it is much kinder, it is much more wholehearted and complete for you as a human person to invite them to have a conscious relationship with you. And in this way, at least for me, when my grandfathers are saying, come on, let's engage with violence, that's definitely the solution to this situation, I know exactly who's talking to me. I know why they're saying these things. And it's easy for me to say, no, Granddad, I don't do that. And you know I don't do that. This is just the same old thing. It's not like something new that I've got to really consider as a serious suggestion or intuition from the spirits. I know who's bringing that, and I know that I don't have to listen to them. That it is, in fact, I who am here to heal them. I'm not here to take their advice. Whereas I have much older ancestors who, when they turn my head with something to say, I realize that I need to take it as wisdom and really think it through before I decide on what to do. Knowing the sources of these voices makes all the difference. Telling them that you love them puts your acceptance or your rejection of their messages in that context of love. You're still family. You still recognize and appreciate the link that you have with these people and everything that the force of their life has offered you. So, the three-part ritual is thankfulness, forgiveness, and love. As you are doing this, in your meditative state, in your personally designated sacred space, with your altar, have your candle on, or whatever else it is, incense, that provides you with the energy and peace to do this work. At this point, you should have a sense of presences around you. Some of them are going to be more enthusiastic about engaging with you than others. Do your very best to pick out faces, personalities, body types, things they are wearing, which are probably nice clothes from whenever they lived. Start to identify these characters. Usually, this introduction process is going to take a lot of energy, a lot of emotion from you. That first introduction is probably enough for one session. it will probably be a good idea for you to write down the people that you met, whether they introduce themselves by name or just as this presence with particular attributes. Identify all these people. The ones who want to talk to you. I found that there were a lot that were not interested in talking to me, and that's fine. I can only engage with so many characters at once. I truly have plenty and a lot of confidence that they are exactly the ancestors who can help me the most. And I also have degrees of relationships with these characters. Some are very, very close, always there with me when I need them. Some I'll see from time to time, and some I know are off in the background, watching with interest, not necessarily always approval, but at least there's something about me that I am continuing from their story. In a future session, invite one of them and have a conversation with this character. Get to know them a little bit better. Ask them questions about where they're from, what they care about, the story that brought them to bring you into existence, and how your actions, how the themes of your life weave into that story. Have these interviews until you feel like you've either exhausted your list or you've got plenty of people to work with. And from there, you can decide if you want to add small objects to your altar that respect and continue to invite these people, how exactly you are going to interact with them. For me, my core group of ancestors is around me all the time. They are immediately accessible. They are with me when I'm doing tarot readings. They are with me when I'm making decisions. I speak to them constantly. They are my ever-present guides. You may not want that close of a relationship with all of your ancestors. It's really up to you. You get to choose. But being able to sort through these vague influences of distant ancestors can make a big difference in understanding the nuance of why you may feel driven to make one choice over another, and to be able to consciously see, well, this choice is in the thread of what my family has always done. Is that the right and best for me in these circumstances, or do I need to open up other options that my family hasn't explored before, but needs to? And you get to make that choice. That's a big part of your influence on how this world tangles and untangles in our physical and spiritual realities. Now, if you are looking to invite somebody who you have already known in person, a grandparent, a parent, even a child who has passed, collecting physical objects that made them happy, that they kept around them regularly, foods that they liked to eat, anything like this that can serve as a reminder to you or an offering to them, something that you put on your altar as something fresh for consumption. And in some traditions, if you're doing it outside, you might light that thing on fire. In others, you place it before them, do your ritual and practice, thank and invite them, and after the entire session is done, you dispose of that thing in a respectful way. Some will wrap and bury it, but really just showing that its use has been exhausted as after it has been offered to the spirits. It's not for anyone else to consume. However you do that in your household, dispose of the consumable object in that way. So you bring things that they like to your altar and go into meditation, and in the same way invite them, starting with appreciation, then forgiveness, then love. But you're talking to somebody that you knew, so discussing the feelings that they inspired in you, the good example that they were to you, the powerful influences that have improved your life from them. Talk about that stuff. That will encourage them to manifest to you and to establish a stronger relationship with you in their spirit form. And it may be that they have things that they need you to do in the physical world in order to help them manifest the end of the energy they were working towards and developing in their own life, things they may not have been able to finish. Bring them your problems. Talk to them exactly like family members. It's important that your rapport with your ancestors be familiar, that you are completely honest with them. And you may even find yourself checking the way that you communicate as you become less and less formal, and thinking to yourself, well, is this really the way that I want to talk? Or being too formal and thinking to yourself, well, wait, why do I have this instinct to approach my family like foreign dignitaries? Our interactions with our ancestors, the impulses that we have and the way that we express them, are going to allow us to refine our habits and become greater examples of what our family can be. As we are working in the tradition, in this same thread of themes, concepts, emotions that your ancestors started long ago, and that now you are a locus for. That energy has accumulated in you after it has been matured and worked with for thousands of years. Now you get to do it. And the way that you do it is going to impact others. Again, children that you have, your partners, your friends, even just people that you encounter on a day-to-day basis as you go about your life to fulfill your necessities. The ways that your ancestors responded to life are part of the project that you are working on now. Your influence, your choices are going to matter not just to you, but to everybody you touch. And cultivating, enriching your relationship with your ancestors is a clearer way to be a part of that project than to just think you're going to do it all on your own, or that only the living have the answers. Thank you so much for listening. I really hope that incorporating an ancestral practice into your own work helps you a great deal. If you have any questions, please ask in the comments. Any stories of success or satisfaction that you've had, I definitely want to know. Again, thank you for listening. Please check out my Patreon account, Newell Tarot, if you are interested in a tarot subscription service. Any of these themes in spiritual development, I am more than happy to consult you on, whether we use the cards or not. Please reach out if you're looking for help. Thanks again, and take care.